guys. Hey, it's Deb. Welcome back to Thriving Alcohol Free. It is just us today. Well, always us and Coco. She is asleep under the desk. She was snoring a minute ago. I don't know if you'll hear her or not, but she's here sending all her love, her slow walks with me. I bought a little stroller. I bought a little dog stroller so I can push her. So I'm trying to figure out how to. She did okay in it the first time. Anyway, I wanted to come in today. Last week, I posted some photos on Instagram of my book that's coming out, which is so crazy for me to even say my book. It's so crazy. But I realized I have not shared with you guys the background story of how the book came about. Honestly, because I have been so nervous that, like, at some point, the publisher is just going to pull the plug and be like, we're going to pass. So, Nicole from the publishing house, if you're listening, that's what's been going on. That's why I probably haven't posted as much as probably I should have about the book. I have not shared like a lot of like the journey of getting here, what it was like to write the book. I didn't post things as I was writing. I didn't post recipes as I was going along. I probably did it all wrong. So first time author here, what do I know? But I just felt like, oh, it's not going to happen. There's no way it's going to happen. But apparently it is happening. The book is available now for pre-order. Hopefully you've pre-ordered. It's called The Happiest Hour, Delicious Mocktails for a Fabulous Mom's Night In. This mom loves to be in. I don't know if it's like post-COVID. I don't know if it's just that I'm in my, this phase of my life. I love to be home. I do love to go places. I love to travel. I like to do some things, but I also like love to be home. So I think it's kind of ironic, the name of the Fabulous Mom's Night In. Okay, the book comes out November 5th. It's election day. America is going to need mocktails. We are going to probably want to drink, we're probably going to be like, time for a cocktail. Let's have mocktails. So let's make mocktails together. If you pre-order the book, I think it'll be on your doorstep actually on election day. Typically, like when I've pre-ordered books, they arrive like the day, the actual publication day. I think they must ship the day before, but I can't guarantee. I don't have any like guarantee that it'll be on your doorstep that day, but I have a feeling it might be. But regardless, even if it gets to you the day after, right? So I would be so grateful if you would pre-order the book. And actually, something else. Can I ask for something? I don't do this. I need to put this into the podcast intro or somewhere. Would you mind taking 30 seconds to leave a rating and review for the podcast? If this podcast has been of encouragement to you, it will really help other people find the podcast. I didn't realize how much rating and reviews help a podcast, but it really does make a difference. So if you wouldn't mind 30 seconds, type a little rating and review. It would mean a lot. And I promise I will read it, and it means a lot. So there's that. Okay, but I want to share how this came about, how the book came about, what is going on, because I've been kind of radio silent on the book. All right. So in February of 2023, I don't know if you guys, you probably don't remember, but Don Lemon shared on, I don't know, an episode of CNN, something he's talking about women in their 50s and how women in their 50s are past their prime. And his comments were getting a lot of attention, all over the place. People were talking about, women were talking about, like, what is he talking about? And I couldn't get it out of my head. I could not get it out of my head what he had said. I was like, excuse me, pardon me. I don't think so. I was in my 50s and I was like, you don't know what you're talking about, sir. And you're older than me. And I just felt like, I've been through, a divorce. I've been through breast cancer, been through my daughter being really sick, my parents passing away. I mean, like, the list is long of hard things. Like, all of us have, right? We all have hard things we've been through. And I was like, I am not past my prime. Like, I am just getting started. That's really how I feel. So I hope you feel that way too in your life. Like, you're just getting started. We're just getting going. The book is, like, the future is still bright. My life's not over. I do love to be home, but like, my life is not over. I love it. Anyway, so I couldn't get out of my head what he had shared or what he had said. So it was a Saturday. I think it was maybe the Saturday after he had said that or something. My husband, Larry, was out working on the truck or doing something. I remember he was doing something on the truck. What was he doing? I can't remember, fixing something. Anyway, and I was like, I'm going to run inside. I was like, I couldn't get out of my head. I was like, I got to make a video. So set up my little lights and got my lemons. And I was like, all right, I got to make some mocktail using lemons, Don Lemon. Because when life gives you Don Lemon, make a mocktail. So I made a video And that video ended up going viral. I never had that happen before like that. It was crazy. All these like new followers and comments and shares. And it was crazy, really crazy on Instagram what was going on. At the same time that I was getting like some DMs, direct messages, I was getting some messages on my Instagram, and a gal messaged me. I didn't. A lot of people were messaging. I didn't know. This one lady messaged me and telling me she works for this publishing house and she'd be interested to talk to me. And I was like, oh, and kind of kept scrolling or whatever. Like I didn't know. I was like, this could be a total. She's probably a scam. Like she's probably like, here, send me $5,000. And then we'll send you $5,500. Like those scams, how it's like, you're talking to somebody who's like a total scammer. And it's like, send us this money and then we'll send you money back. And that's how you getting paid. I don't know. I was like, I didn't know what this was. She wasn't talking about money or anything. She was just saying like, can we have a conversation about maybe doing a mocktail book? I'm with a publishing house. I'd be interested to chat with you. I was like, I don't know who you are. Anyway, then I ended up getting an email from her. She got my email address and sent me an email, introducing herself. It was on her business email, sharing that her publishing house also works with the Baker Mama. If you follow her on Instagram, she's huge on Instagram and she does charcuterie boards and stuff. So when I saw that, and then she shared some other things that they publish, I was like, I looked up those. Like, okay, well, this is a legitimate publishing house. This is like a real person. And so I agreed to hop on a call with her. And so we actually got on a call in March of 2023. It was actually, I didn't know it at the time. My nephew had actually passed away that day. I didn't know it yet. I didn't find out until that evening. But Nicole and I had our call that same day, March 10th. That was my first call with her. I was sitting in my car on my phone. We just did a little Google Meet call, I think it was, or something like that. And just kind of like a little introduction, do you have recipes? Who are you? What are you doing? What are you doing over there since you're just getting started? Let's talk about it. And, but then later on that evening, found out about my nephew, David. And there were a lot of like, the next couple of weeks, months, a lot of like really great things happening, like in the world of my mocktail account and stuff. And obviously like the discussions about this book, it was very exciting. And then at the same time in my personal life, tragic isn't even the right word. I mean, it's beyond, I still cannot believe I'm not seeing my nephew until I get to heaven. I still cannot believe that. I cannot wrap my head around it. But all that to say, just a little side note, it's like in life, you're going down the railroad tracks of life, right? And it's like on the one track, the one side, is wonderful things, happy things, great things. And at the same time, the other side of the railroad tracks, the other track can be the most difficult things, the hardest things in life. And it can all be happening at the exact same time. And it's a lot. Well, it's life, right? Life is a lot to deal with, but it's not like you're going through life. I haven't gone through life and there's only been happy times on the railroad tracks of both sides at the same time, and you keep moving forward, even though there's really awful things and really wonderful things can be going on at the same time. So that was what behind the scenes, what was going on at the time of like signing the contract for the book. So exciting, like so exciting. But at the same time, didn't really believe it was happening. Even then it was like, well, we'll see. I kept saying like, well, we'll see, which is actually so funny because that's what Larry says all the time. Like I'll say something and he's like, well, we'll see. I'm always like, the glass is half full, the glass is overflowing, but for whatever reason with this whole book project, I've been like, we'll see. I don't know. They're going to call me they're just be like, we're pulling the plug. We found somebody else. We like her better. But that hasn't happened. The book is coming out. It's official. It's in print right now. So super exciting for you guys to get your copies. But I just wanted to share, kind of the background of how this whole book came about. It was really, I've Don Lemon. So let's just take a moment here to say, Don Lemon, thank you. Thank you for sharing that women in their 50s are past their prime. Because guess what? This woman is not past her prime. And the women in America have spoken of all sides of the political aisle. We don't care. We are one saying we are not past our prime. We are just getting started. And so here I am, first time author. When life gives you lemons, no, sorry. When life gives you Don Lemon, make a mocktail. And so we are. It's called the Happiest Hour. Delicious mocktails for a fabulous mom's night in. First time author. And I have you, Don Lemon, to thank because you said women in their 50s were past their prime, and we are very much not. So, um, okay, one of the recipes in the book, and I'm going to put it in the show notes, is called Taste and See with Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk is one of my favorite business entrepreneurs. He's one of my favorite people to follow on social media. He's the only man in my life that I will allow to curse at me all day long. He loves dropping the F bomb. I shouldn't say loves it. It's just, he's just whatever, just part of his vocabulary, whatever. But I love Gary. He's been such an encouragement to me and really his encouragement to taste and see. That's kind of what he'll say, like, just taste and see. Like if you're somebody who's a writer and you maybe want to start a blog or you want to start writing articles, just taste and see, go do it, go try it. Like, don't be afraid to try new things, even if it's like a little side hustle or a new business or something, don't be afraid to try new things. Just try. Like, what's the worst thing that happens? Let's say you start a blog. Let's say you love writing, you start a blog. What's the worst thing that could happen and it doesn't go well or nobody reads it or whatever? Maybe it just gives you joy or maybe it totally takes off, and it's something amazing that's happened in your life that never would have happened if you didn't just taste and see. Just go like, let me just see how this happens, see what happens with this. So that's how I started my Instagram. Gary was really the inspiration behind starting my Instagram because I was so bored when I stopped drinking. Like at night, I wasn't buzzed. So I was like, I don't want to do puzzles. I don't want to do coloring pages. What can I do? And I was like, well, let me just, maybe I'll start an Instagram account and start sharing, the mocktails, the non-alcoholic options that I was finding and, also be able to share with people how hard it was because it was really hard in the beginning. So because of Gary's encouragement, I started my Instagram account. He is really the inspiration behind it. And so I wanted to put a recipe in the book, just as, in honor of Gary. Went to put a recipe. So it's a blueberry spritz. He loves blueberries. It's one of the fruits he sits and he'll snack on his little videos and stuff. But so I'll put the recipe, the Taste and See with Gary V. I'll put that in the show notes for you guys. Would love for you to have that. It's a delicious, easy, simple recipe that is so, so good. And it's just it's a nod to Gary Vaynerchuk, who was the inspiration for my Instagram account, mocktail.mom. And he is a huge inspiration in completing the book, The Happiest Hour, because I know Gary did not do very well in school. I was a horrible student, horrible. Like our class was, I went to a small Christian school and we had 66 kids in my graduating class. And I was number 64. I was holding up the entire bottom of the class. And so I like, in the Bible where it says like the first shall be last and last shall be first. So I think in heaven I might be close there to the valedictorian, but it doesn't even matter. I was having so much fun talking to people and making friends, and I could care less about school. I didn't care. Anyway, all that to say, Gary didn't like school. He didn't do well in school. He and I were like bringing in the D's and the C's, and you know what? We're doing just fine in life. Everything's fine. Anyway, all that to say, I had so much fun writing the book. It was stressful. I shouldn't say I had so much fun. I did have fun, like tasting the recipes, making the recipes, trying them with Lily, things like that, coming up with the names for the recipes. I had a lot of fun with that, like Taste and See with Gary V. When life gives you Don Lemon, make a mocktail. Just fun recipe names. And then the chapter titles was so much fun. But I will say it was very stressful. Writing the book, I did meet all the deadlines that they gave me. It was a slow process. Like you submit stuff and then you don't hear back for weeks. And then like you submit something else, or then you have another deadline that you don't hear back for. It's just how it goes. I've never written a book. I don't know anything. I don't know how this goes. Even like coming out with this now, like, I don't know how this goes. So we're just going to all see. We're going to see how it goes together. But the chapter titles was really fun. Like I have a chapter called Mules for Days, because mocktail mules are so easy to make, so simple, definitely help me surf the urge. I actually have a mocktail mule box. If you're interested, it's on my website, mocktailmom.com. If you want a little box, I have a mule cup, some free samples of rituals included in there, all the different ritual ones, some ginger beers from Q Mixers. Anyway, there's some fun stuff, a little mule box. A little side note there. If you want a mule box, I'd be happy to mail one to you. There's a chapter called Buzzworthy Brunch, minus the buzz. My nickname is Buzz. That comes from, I was a camp counselor, and Deborah in Hebrew means honeybee. And so my nickname at camp, or my camp counselor name was Buzz. So Buzzworthy Brunch minus the buzz. Um, Mint to be mocktails is one of the chapters with some mint mocktails. A chapter called Hot Flash. Mamas need frozen drinks because us women having our hot flashes, we definitely need frozen drinks. So maybe you want to start there. If you're in the menopause, postmenopausal, premenopausal, you might want to start in that section. I have a section called a chapter called Sharing is Caring, Holidays Without Hangovers, Just Getting Started, Not Past Our Prime, and then a chapter called Spicy Mama Mocktails. So a lot of mom names and things like that, but the book is for anybody, male, female, mom, dad, mom to a dog, whatever. You don't have to have kids. This are recipes for everybody, and it's just very down to earth. Hopefully, I just get to share a little bit of my personality in there that, like, the fun is not over and there are still good things to drink and we can have great, great times, and stay connected, in our lives, whether we're completely sober, soberish, just want to drink mocktails, just want to evaluate our relationship with alcohol, take a little break, take a little challenge. Wherever you are in your alcohol-free journey or in your mocktail journey, I am cheering you on. And just wanted to share today a little bit about the background of the book because there were some questions and I realized, like, I really have done a bad job about sharing the journey to get here. Because I've been so nervous that the plug was going to get pulled. It was just going to be like, nope, this is not happening. So it's happening. So November 5th, let's all drink our Happiest Hour mocktails together. And let's just celebrate. Life is so good. Even I say that even in the midst of really awful things, life is good. And we just need to treasure each day. I do say every day is a gift. Um, and I truly mean it. Every day is a gift and we just need to enjoy and embrace each moment. So love you guys. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be connected to you through this podcast. I'm grateful to be of support. Having this podcast keeps me going. So you guys being listeners, you being a listener helps me stay on my alcohol-free journey. So I appreciate you so much for your encouragement, your support. And I just love you guys. I appreciate for you guys ordering the book, pre-ordering it, order a couple, send them as gifts. The holidays are coming, dry January is coming, or dryish January, whatever you're doing. I'm just cheering you on. So big time cheers, lots and lots of love. I will see you guys next week. Podcast interviews are coming back, but I wanted to share with you a little bit behind the scenes of the book. So, especially you're all my favorites. You're my favorites. So I wanted you guys to hear a little bit directly from me. Talk to y'all later.